One of the biggest problems I see with heavy players is that they don't know what the meta loadouts are on heavy. This is a problem because in the finals, the meta is constantly changing, which means that it's important for you to know what the best loadouts are on heavy in each specific scenario. So today, I asked my friend Gobzo to show me 3 of the best meta loadouts on heavy class. Gobzo competed in Pro Hubs, is an Ape Squad member, and was top 500 last season. So he should have a pretty good idea of what the heavy meta is right now. Let's get into it.
So the first loadout I would call meta is the literal bread and butter that's been here. Winch, SA, Dome, RPG, and C4. Like this has been meta for the esports league forever. It's been in Pro Hubs. It's been in the most recent Apes title fight, and even in the majors right now.
Why do you say Winch over everything else? Like there's Mesh Shield, there's Goo Gun. You know, Goo Gun's really popular. Why is Winch the best?
Because Winch is so good in a competitive setting. If you're at a lower skill ceiling, or if you're, playing with a team that you don't really know, Mesh is viable. It is like so much better. But when you're stacked with like pros or people that are in the top 500, these Ruby lobbies, you're going to want to Winch because you have competent teammates that are able to capitalize on plays. Meaning when we're pushing for a point, say we have the high ground or we're getting jump padded on, if you have a competent heavy that can, steal somebody out of air or steal somebody that's, leaving or just popping your dome out and initiating with a winch, that's a guaranteed kill right there. And your team's going to be able to play off of that versus as a mesh or a goo, you're just playing time.
So one of the things that you're saying is that you get more value from winch with your team than you get from mesh, because winch you actually can secure kills on it.
Exactly. And I know the community for a long time has seen shoulder charge as this, meme panic button. If you're fighting in a 1v1 scenario with that, winch is able to counter that off, or they can't shoulder charge you anymore. Same way with mesh. If you are to winch a mesh player, it pulls them out of mesh. Yes, you can get a couple shots on, but then it's just a delay over time, and you guys are just both kind of pushing forward, and while the mesh is just backpedaling. However, they can't fight, so you're able to just slide back in and take the kill.
Why SA? Like, why are we saying close range?
Because it has so much ammo in the magazine. This has just so much more sustained damage in close range, and you're not stuck like say with a shack. I can guarantee a kill with that winch, but I have to reload after, and that puts me in a situation where I'm constantly backpedaling, trying to reload so I can get in the next engagement.
Oh, so you're saying the total damage you could do before a reload is the most on SA?
Exactly. You're not having people, one at a time coming at you. You're having all 3 of those teams throwing themselves directly on you, and you've got to be able to sustain yourself in the fight. And and you just don't want to be stuck in reloading simulator.
Like, I know Lockbolt is very popular in ranked, but why Lockbolt over RPG or Lockbolt over C4?
You can choose either or, and I don't think anybody's gonna judge you for it. It's completely okay to run a Lockbolt, especially if you're running that new Titan weapon, just because you're able to pin them down. And what is it? For light, you just need a one-shot headshot and a Lockbolt, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it brings down the medium as well. So you're able to interchange the two. But I would still say for me, and personally with the SA, I'd run an RPG. It pairs directly with the C4 to get a C4 trap. You can always pop that C4 trap and wait for them to peek out. Pop an RPG, and it does more damage. It increases your damage load.
Okay, so what maps would you say this winch SA loadout was good on?
I would viable on every single map except for Vegas Sandstorm. It's a little bit trickier on there. Kyoto, I would not run it. Honestly, Monaco too. There's better options, so I don't really run the SA on Monaco, especially during suspended structures. And any other map with suspended structures, I typically don't run it because a lot of people are just holding that height and just beaming down on you. You're basically useless in a fight until you can come up close to them and actually do the damage that you need to do. If someone's holding up suspended or height and I'm literally like 20 meters away, all I can do is pepper them. I'm barely getting like 1 HP damage a shot.
So on long range maps or maps where there's long range engagements, it's not very good.
The denial build.
Okay, what's on the denial build?
I have a shoulder charge, deagles, which is the Kimbos, dome, pyromine, and lock bolts. Now this build is definitely meant more for taking space. This build is only really meant for area denial and for aggressively playing in buildings or holding mid range or not being what is it called, flanked. The reason I run deagles with this one solely is because deagles aren't good close range. So that's why I compensate with the charge and slam. If I'm holding height or medium range, you know, you're able to deny people. It has a lot more damage per clip than the Titan. It has a lot more damage per clip than almost all weapons other than maybe the minigun. And yeah.
So this is a like light counter because charge, pyro, and lockbolt are all 3 light counters.
So I mean, this lights or mediums, but even in heavies, like this is a situations where they're like, oh crap, they can't do much just because of the visual clutter on their screen. Fortune Stadium, and you're blocking them off of the pads. It's so perfect for that situation too.
So what would you say are like some problems on this loadout?
In buildings, you can charge and slam, but you can get winched instantly by heavy. So I love to throw out the pyro and lockbolt because then it neutralizes both of us. Is it called standing? What is it called again?
Suspended structure.
If I don't have anything to break it down, I'm kind of screwed, right? Like I don't have
You don't have
an
C4.
RPG
Yeah.
and I don't have a C4. I do have the charge to manipulate, you know, the box. But say I'm trying to aggress on this, I won't be able to. The last build's the anchor build. It consists of the specialization mesh, and then with the weapon of minigun or Titan. I will run vice versa. They're kind of both really good. Dome, of course, because you always got to have a dome. But the 2 different ones are the healing emitter and the barricades. This is supposed to be able to create space, but also just, you know, give a defensive build for your team. For basically an anchor point for them to hold. Heal ball's definitely underrated. It doesn't do as much healing as you really want it to, in honesty, but it does enough.
I mean, like when you combine it with
But if you combine it, you know, with
other
a mesh
healing?
or with other healing, you know, you can get reset really, really quick. This build is so good for resets, and I think the minigun does it so well because it's able to do so much damage suppression on enemies to not be able to, you know, go for fights. So you have that healing emitter down, you know, worst case scenario, you pop a barricade in front of you to collapse under, and you do some movement tech to get your minigun rampant again.
oh, so the
So, yeah,
barricades kind of help the minigun get movement back.
Exactly. How annoying it is to kill me is like, it's too much. It gets ridiculous.
Yeah, that's true. You get like so much cover. Yeah, so what weaknesses with this?
Glitches can counter you so easily. All it really takes in that anchor point. That's why you do have barricades to, you know, hopefully help in that situation and pop them out. But one glitch, you know, takes out your healing bot, takes out your mesh, and now you're stuck there, you know, with your gun out, having to rearm the weapon or re-revolve the weapon so you can actually start shooting.
Do medium split APS commonly on this?
Yeah,
Okay.
if you're running with a medium, typically you love to see them run that defib, jump pad, and an APS turn. So say, you know, we're fighting, you can get me low, and I can't fight anymore. I'm just gonna try and kite down and try and dome it back.
Wait, should I kill you?
Yeah, even I can't do that.
I'm not gonna lie, that stood a better chance than all the other ones. In that situation, your teammates would have been able to kill me there. So
Exactly.
like you sold a good 5 seconds. So then what maps is this defensive anchor playstyle work on?
Honestly, at the big long range maps, like if you're going in Kyoto or, you know, Las Vegas Sandstorm, or if you're going in, you know, Monaco Suspended, this is a perfect, you know, build just to go counter them. Because a lot of these fights are up here, they're on top of buildings, and you want somebody that can do enough damage suppression so teams aren't able to challenge you.
You say like long range and defense and all that, but like how would you attack on this? Or would you have to rely on your teammate's utility for attack?
So for this, you have to use your team's util. You can damage suppress. While you're damage suppressing them, your medium's able to go clip up and make either a zip, a jump pad, or something for you to instantly go down and back up and go for the fight. This weapon isn't a highlight of like, I'm gonna be getting the most kills, I'm gonna be getting the most damage, the most like fame. It's not really like that. It's really, you're just holding and shooting for a good portion. If you do have movement tech, it can be a highlight of a weapon, but it is hard to pull it out.
First loadout, what maps?
Every single map that I would use it on, other than the long range maps, which is, you know, typically Vegas, Sandstorm, Kyoto, Monaco, or usually any suspended structure.
And then what is it good at?
Honestly, it's good at capitalizing and making plays. It's such a great initiating build where you're playing close range and trying to get, you know, picks. for your team. So you do have the C4 for it to be able to drop it and manipulate it. You do have the winch to take it away from areas. Weaknesses, right?
Weakness, yeah.
Yeah, weaknesses. It sucks if you don't have a competent team. If you don't have a competent team that can heal you or that can, play off of your plays, this weapon and this loadout really does suffer.
Second loadout, what maps would you run it on and what range?
You can use it on any single map. It's just a perfect, well-rounded build that won't suffer in any situation. However, it won't overachieve in any situation as well.
What strengths does it have?
It relies on you denying areas and actually being able to hit your shots.
And then what weaknesses?
There's no real weaknesses that it has. It's well-rounded in everything. However, it doesn't excel in anything. It does kind of suffer, I'm not gonna lie, on dome shield just because, you're having to shoot that dome shield out a little bit. So it suffers on that. This build can be run on anything. However, it's gonna be a little bit less viable on maps that need a lot of rotation. It's so great at, anchoring points, or say you're in a fight or holding a cash out. It is so strongly suited towards deterring teams from fighting you and just giving up or rotating because it's taking too much time than I think any other build.
And then the weaknesses are...
Yeah, moving around, and I would say glitch. If you are going up against the light, it is so hard to fight it. Like, one glitch takes away your healing emitter, your dome, your mesh shield, and now you're stuck there. You're kind of stuck right out in the open because now you have to re-rev your weapon from base and try and kill them. And that re-rev takes so long.
All right, perfect, man. Thank you. Thanks for doing the whole thing.
Normally in videos, I'm good. However, I didn't come up with any notes.
Before you click off this video, I can see how many people subscribe to each specific video. So if you subscribe, it will show me that you guys want to see more of this. If you want to help me make these videos, or you just want to chat with the community, then I put the Discord link in the comments.